Hello everybody, tonight in my third episode I would like to talk about my third paranormal experience. In previous episodes I talked about my alien and UFO experiences. Now I'd like to talk about my first ghost experience. When I was 18, I was pregnant and I was homeless, and I was bunking in with the mother of my boyfriend's best friend. I was living in a property in Seacombe Gardens. I knew the house to be haunted before I moved in, and I was okay with it. I wasn't scared at all. I'd been there previously to visit, and I had absolutely no problems, and I didn't see that I was going to have any problems this time. I moved in, and about the third night in, I was lying in bed. I was asleep. Something woke me up. I'm not sure what it was, but something woke me up. And I looked over and I saw the body of the ghost that was haunting the house. He was an old man. His name was Mr. Price. I'm sorry, I don't know his first name at all. He owned the house previously, prior to my best friend's, my other half's best friend's mum buying it. She bought it as a deceased estate. She had no idea at the time that the house was haunted. Basically, the story goes that Mr. Price lived in the house since it was built. He had 3 sons. He was a single dad. He didn't get along with any of them. The eldest one left school and he got a job, and he bought his first car, which was a Ford Charger. Very nice car. And the night that he bought it home, he decided to go and take his brothers for a spin down to the pub. Now you have to bear in mind that when this all happened in the 70s, there were no such laws as seat belts. There were no drink driving laws. You didn't have to wear no seat belt. The most you had in the car was a panic strap hanging from the roof. And drink driving laws, well, what was that in the early 70s? Didn't exist. Anyway, they went down to the Warradale Hotel to celebrate the purchasing of the new car. They were all quite rowdy and quite drunk. The eldest one being about 15, the youngest one, the eldest one being about 19, 20 years old, the youngest one being about 15. Now, late at night, they decided that they would head home. They got in the car, they headed down Diagonal Road, and they came to the train crossing on Diagonal Road there, and the boom gates went down. The no longer centre line was train was coming. The car stalled on the train line, would not budge, couldn't do anything about it. and the train hit the car and the 3 lads died instantly. There was absolutely no hope for any of them. Mr. Price was devastated to lose all his 3 sons at once. He just could not cope at all, and he became a recluse. He would be quite often seen around his gardening, stuff like that, but he never would go out. He wouldn't leave the house. He wouldn't talk to his neighbours or anything. He just never recovered from his son's deaths. He died some years later in the house, and the house was sold as a deceased estate to Robin. More or less straight away the hauntings began. Now I've heard many stories about what has happened. From what I've seen personally, I've seen him. I know he's there. I've been outside and I've heard footsteps running up and down the hallway. We are talking a flimsy fibreboard house here that was originally sold as a deceased estate, and also it was sold as a bulldozer job. It was never sold as a going concern, but it never got bulldozed. Robin decided to keep it and live in it, and she also rented it out on several occasions. Mr. Price also did not like talk of his house being bulldozed or anything like that, and if you spoke inside the property about the house being bulldozed or knocked down, things would start falling off the wall. I did see that happen, and stuff like that. Also, things would go missing and then they would appear sometime later. In a place that you wouldn't even think of leaving it, like my ex's best friend lost his credit card in the house, looked everywhere, couldn't find it. He found it 6 months later in between the slats of his bed. How it got there, I will never know, but it was there. Yeah, so that was my third ghost experience. Okay, see yous.